Now let's begin with another feature of Java, which is Java is a secure language. To understand this feature, why we are saying Java is a secure language, we have to again check the compilation and execution architecture of a Java program in more detail. Let's look into the architecture of compilation and execution once again here. So let's first understand how this works, and then we will try to understand how we are saying that Java is a secure language. When you start writing a Java code, you will always define a class, a Java file, which is known as source code. Then you will give that source code to the Java compiler, Java C, and that compiler will compile your code and convert that code into machine code or byte code, which is known as class file. That we already have discussed in last features of Java. Then after, there is another program, or you can say a compiler or interpreter, which is known as JVM, which will convert your code into native code or machine code and then execute it on machine, right? Now this JVM is also known as JRE. Actually, before JDK 1.5, it was only known as JVM, but then after the better version of JVM came, which is known as now JRE. JRE is also consist of JVM, but additionally, it also consists of interface libraries, which is basically used to embed the operating system features in your Java program. So for that reason, we have now better version of JVM, which is known as JRE. So from JDK 1.5, we call it JRE. This is nothing but the execution utility which convert your code into native code. Now this JRE is consist of three different programs. The first program is known as class loader. Class loader is the first program which is execute when JRE will start executing, and this class loader is mainly responsible to load the class from the bytecode from the class file to the current memory to the RAM. Okay, so that uh, JRE can perform further operations on that data on that code. Okay, then after class loader, there's another program called bytecode verifier which will execute. Now, what is the purpose of bytecode verifier? Bytecode verifier is mainly used to verify your code whether your code is containing some code which might be harm the security conditions or which might be violate the security conditions. If that kind of code is there in your code, then it will not allow to execute your code. So what is the purpose of it? Let's understand this. You guys already know, if I ask you what is virus, virus is nothing but a program, right? And to execute a virus program, you need a complete, compatible environment to execute that program, right? So Java inventors knew this, that if programmer will try to write the similar type of code in Java, then we will not able to stop him to execute it in Java environment. So what they do, they define they design this program called bytecode verifier. This bytecode verifier will check in your code that whether you are using some kind of keyword combinations which might be used in case of accessing some security things which might be violating some security conditions. If that kind of script you are writing in your code, then bytecode verifier will not allow you to execute that code and will stop you to execute that code. Okay, and in that way they can prevent Java from writing the virus related code, so that they can make the programming in Java more secure. And that's why we say is that Java is a secure language, because of this feature of Java JRE, which is nothing but bytecode verifier. Then after bytecode verifier, there is another program called JIT compiler. JIT stands for just in time compiler. This compiler is responsible to interpret your machine code into native code, your bytecode into native code or machine code, and then execute that on the machine. So JIT is nothing but it's just a interpreter which is just translating your code into machine code, and then you will be able to execute that on machine. So this is the end-to-end architecture of compilation and execution of a Java program, and this is how Java become secure language. Now let's discuss another feature of Java, which is Java is a robust language. Let's understand why we are saying Java is a robust language. Actually, before Java in C, C++ programming, there is a problem that we frequently face, which is known as memory leakage. Now, why this memory leakage problem arose? So the reason behind this is in C programming, if you are reserving the memory, whether you are reserving statically or dynamically while program is in running state, if you are reserving the memory, you are only responsible to free up the memory as well. For example, let's suppose you have write some code and that code is dynamically reserving the memory. Okay, but you didn't write the code to free up the memory when the memory is no more required. In that situation, while your program or project is running, it might be a situation that might be raised where the memory will be keep generating and keep reserving, and um, because you didn't write the code to free up the memory, no one is coming and free up that memory. And in that case, while long run of the application, there will be a situation when required memory will be more and available memory will be less, because your program is in running state and it is keep reserving the memory, and obviously RAM is having some certain capacity. Then there will be a situation when required memory will be more and available memory will be less, and then in that case application will get crash, and that is known as memory leakage problem. Okay, so to avoid this memory leakage problem, C inventors gives you this guideline that if you are writing a program or application in C programming and you are dynamically reserving the memory, you are only responsible to write the code to free up the memory as well. Because if you will not do so, then you will end up with memory leakage problem. Now, Java inventor knew this. They know that, okay, this might be a situation can be raised in Java programming as well. So to avoid this problem, they introduce one feature, one program called garbage collector. That garbage collector is a program which is responsible to free up the memory. Now, Java inventors didn't give you any guideline where they say that, okay, you have to free up the memory manually. No, you don't need to think or worry about the memory cleanup. Okay, you just need to write the code to reserve the memory dynamically or statically wherever whatever you want. Okay, you don't need to bother about how you are going to free up the memory. That memory is going to automatically free up by this program known as garbage collector. This garbage collector execute with a low priority thread known as daemon thread, and it executes parallelly with your main thread. Okay, and it keep checking in your program whether there is any memory which is need to be clean up, which is not in use, and if this is the case, then it will automatically clean up that memory, and in that way there will be never a situation when required memory is more and available memory is less, and that's why memory leakage problem never raise in Java applications, and that's why we say that Java is a robust language.